Hello, welcome back to my channel. I am Heather Tiedemann. I am a realtor down here in the beautiful Lexington, Columbia, South Carolina. And today we are going to be talking about 10 things you need to know before moving to Lexington, South Carolina. And this is going to be about Lexington as well as Lexington County, because those are two different things. A lot of people don't realize that, like, the town of Lexington and Lexington County are very different things. I wouldn't say they're very different things, but Lexington County is very, very large. So definitely something that you need to take into consideration if you are considering a move here. But before we get started, as always, I am going to ask that you please like and subscribe to my channel. It really means so much to me, really helps with the YouTube algorithm, and helps me grow. We're so close to 400 subscribers. So I really appreciate you guys and everything that you do for our channel. So let's jump into this. So I kind of broke down the 10 things you need to know into like 5 cons and 5 pros. And pros and cons are going to be relative. Maybe some of the cons don't bother you. Maybe the pros for you aren't pros. But for me personally, these would be what I consider pros and cons. So number 1 on the list, you're going to hear people talk about it all the time, the driving. South Carolina does have one of the highest rates of vehicle fatality in the country. So definitely something to keep in mind, that when you move here, your car insurance likely will go up. Just something to keep in mind. Also, when you come into driving, the Lexington area genuinely doesn't have a lot of public transportation options. There are some, if you're getting out towards Irmo, like the Harbison area, there are some public transportation, like a bus there, but we don't have subways. We have very, very limited public transportation access, and you're really going to need a car if you're living here. We're not a walkable community. We don't have a lot of public transportation, and so you're going to need a car to get where you're going. We'll kind of hit on that a little bit later in the video, but the public transportation here, very lacking. So you're going to want to make sure that you have a car to get to where you need to go. Number 2 con on the list. This is a place where you live. It is not a place where you vacation. A lot of people move here from places like Orlando or Tampa, New York City, San Diego, and they come here and they're like, you guys have nothing to do. Well, we do actually have a lot of things to do, but we are not a tourist location. So you have things that people that live in a community and not visit a community utilize. We have beautiful parks. We have lots of restaurants. We are just outside of Columbia, where we have an award-winning zoo. We have museums. There's so much to do here. But if you are moving here thinking this is a place where people vacation and there's going to be 5,000 tourist traps, there's just not. That's not this area at all. So you need to come in with that proper expectation that you're not going to be living in a tourist area anymore. That's really something you need to take into consideration. And number 3, this is kind of going back to the first thing about why you need a car. Number 3 is we are very spread out. So there's no just driving 3 minutes to the grocery store generally. Now, sometimes you can, absolutely. But it's a very spread out community. People come here and they do not realize, even Lexington itself, how spread out it is. It can genuinely take you 30 minutes to get from one side of Lexington to the other side of Lexington, sometimes even longer than that depending on traffic. And that doesn't even include Lexington County. So Lexington County is very broad, it's very vast. You have parts of Chapin, parts of Irmo, Lexington, West Columbia, Gaston, Pillion, Batesburg, Leesville, Gilbert. So it's a very large area, and it is very spread out. To hit everything just in Lexington County can take you hours. Like, you can travel hours just hitting all the areas in Lexington County. So definitely take that in consideration. If you are moving somewhere and you're wanting somewhere you can live and you can hit every single thing that Lexington has to offer within 10 minutes, that's not going to happen. You're going to need a car. You're going to need to be prepared that you're going to have to drive a bit to get to where you're going because of how large Lexington actually is. Number 4 on our list of cons is going to be kind of unpredictable weather. Now, we have our general prediction, like it will always be hot and humid during the summer. It just will. And our winters will generally be very mild. However, we do have some unpredictable weather. We do get some tropical storms, the occasional tornado. I've lived here my entire life, never seen a tornado, but South Carolina does get tornadoes. So definitely something to take into consideration. And we'll have a lot of pop-up storms, especially in our rainy season. So if you're moving here and you're used to an area that has very predictable weather, that can be kind of hard. Especially when we're changing seasons, you're going to see a lot of that. You'll see people joke where it's sweater weather in the morning and shorts weather in the afternoon. That is very common when we are changing seasons, where you're going to be bundled up in the morning and burning up at night. So definitely can be a con. I've got to kind of get used to it, but even still, I get dressed because it's 50 degrees outside, and then by the afternoon, it's 75, and it's hot now. So something to take into consideration. Check the weather for the entire day and plan accordingly. Number 5 is going to be the food scene. You'll see a lot of people complain about that because they're used to big cities. We're not a big city. We're a suburb of a small city. Even all the areas of Lexington County are going to be suburbs of the small city of Columbia. So I think it is getting better. We are definitely seeing a lot more restaurants and a lot more options. But if you are from a big city, you're not going to have as many options as, a town, an area of, 60, 70,000 people is not going to have the same variety of food as a massive city of 3 million. That is something you need to take into consideration when you are moving here. And you'll hear a lot of people complain saying they don't like the food here. And I really think that is going to be very objective, I suppose is the word. Because, no, don't get me wrong, I've gone to New York, I've tried New York pizza. Do I think it's great? Absolutely. It's fantastic. Do I think it's so much better that I couldn't live without it? No. Don't shoot me, guys. Don't shoot me. I think it's good. I don't see the vast difference. I do think it's good though. I do think it's better than South Carolina pizza, but I don't think it's so much better that we need to be talking about it every day. I went and had a Mexican food in California where I hear that Mexican food is so amazing. I did not like it. I did not like it at all. So I think it's what you're used to and what you've grown accustomed to. So when you move to an area, maybe their food isn't bad per se. Maybe it's just not what you're accustomed to. And that's okay. That is okay. So now we're going to move into number 6, which we're kind of moving into the pros category because we kind of hit all of our cons here. So let's talk about some pros. South Carolina as a whole does rank relatively low in education. I know I said it was going to be a pro. It's getting there, guys. It's getting there. However, Lexington County does have 2 of the highest rated school districts in the state. I can't get into specifics because I legally am not allowed to say if a school is good or bad, but you are definitely able to research that further. But Lexington County does have 2 very highly rated school districts, and that's not just highly rated in South Carolina, that's highly rated nationally. So definitely something to take into consideration when you are moving here. When you are looking at them, don't look at the school district as a whole. While that's great, look at the individual schools as well. That's going to be very important if you are considering a move here and schools are important to you. Number 7, we are centrally located. right dab in the middle of the state, which I think we have a ton of stuff to do. I probably have 4 events already this week that I'm going to attend. I'm going to have so much fun at. There's so much stuff for my kids to do, but if you want to travel, this is an excellent location for traveling. We're 2 hours to the beach, 2 hours to the mountains, and there's tons of rivers and lakes in between. You're just outside of Columbia, so you have everything that Columbia has to offer, and you're only about an hour and a half outside of Charlotte, which is a larger metropolitan area. And you're only about 2 hours-ish to Greenville, which is going to be like a medium-sized city. So we have the weekend trips galore. So 3 hours you can be in Gatlinburg. 3 hours, 2 hours you can be in Asheville once they recover. Absolutely. But the Great Smoky Mountains are there for you to be able to travel to. It is such a great place. I'm able to take so many weekend trips because of where this is located. Helen, Georgia. That is a beautiful place, especially during Christmas and fall, because they do like an Oktoberfest. Like the whole town is an Oktoberfest, and then the whole town is a Christmas town. So like there are just so many amazing trips that you can take because of how centrally located you are in the state. It makes it so convenient. Number 8, I find it to be very family friendly. There's parks and playgrounds. We have state parks. We have the lake. We have the children's museum. We have the zoo. There's just so much to do, and the community itself, they want to foster those relationships. So there's always a festival going on. There's always an event. The Ice House Amphitheater in Lexington always has something going on. Live music, a market, parades, festivals, and then that's not even getting into Columbia itself, which opens up your horizons even more. There's just so much stuff for kids to do, and if your kids really like sports, we are very sports heavy here. So you're going to have plentiful options for sports if that is something your kids are interested in. We are very, very family focused here in the Lexington area. Number 9 is going to be the lower cost of living. What drives a lot of people here is our cost of living. Our property taxes are extremely low if you own and live in your primary residence. I've hit on that in other videos, so I won't go too much into that. But I have an amazing relocation partner in New York, and she posts her listings, and she posted one recently that was like $575,000, and it was like a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom, 1,100 square feet, and it was so tiny. And for New York, that's amazing. But for $575,000 in South Carolina, you easily could get a 4,000 square foot house without any issues. With beautiful upgrades, newer construction. Like it is a lot more affordable here in terms of that. There are certain things that are going to be more expensive here than they are in other areas, but overall, the cost of living for your major items are much lower. And then our last one. You've heard me talk about it a lot, about property taxes for our cars. We do pay property taxes every year on our vehicles. But one thing I have noticed, especially traveling into bigger cities or bigger areas, specifically New York and Florida and California, is everywhere is a toll road. Yes, it doesn't seem like that bad because you're paying $1 here, $2 there, 60 cents. But that adds up, especially if you're using those roads continuously, like every single day. I know in New York, bridges can cost $17, $18, some $20+ to go over a bridge in New York. Where here, we don't have toll roads. So yes, we have annual property taxes, but we're not getting nickel and dime to death on these toll roads. Anytime I ever travel and I come home to $15, $20 in toll fees. So that is definitely something to keep in mind, is we can go wherever we want and it don't cost us anything but gas. We're not paying all these little tolls here and there. That car was very loud. So that is what I have for you guys today. I hope this video was very beneficial for you. If you have any questions and you want to learn more, I am always so happy to answer them any way I possibly can. Feel free to drop a comment below if you have any questions about what I discussed. And if not, feel free to join our Moving to Lexington or Moving to Chapin groups on Facebook. You can get tons of valuable information there, way more than you're going to get from me on this YouTube channel. And we would love to have you. Until next time, guys. Bye!